Hello everyone, I hope I'm audible and I'm sharing my screen. Hope my screen is visible. So let's begin with a very new and interesting topic of our 10th standard, that is quadratic equation. See, whenever I talk about quadratic equation, you can just recollect it with concept of polynomial. Okay? So whenever I speak about word polynomial, see जिसका डिग्री 1 होता है वो पॉलिनोमियल को हम लोग क्या बोलते हैं? वी कॉल इट एज अ लीनियर पॉलिनोमियल। वी कॉल इट एज अ लीनियर पॉलिनोमियल। जिसका डिग्री 2 होता है इसको हम लोग बोलते हैं क्वाड्रेटिक पॉलिनोमियल। isn't it? This is what we have studied in our grade 9th, quadratic polynomial. So now coming to the point of quadratic equation. So whenever I use the word quadratic equation, equation means any mathematical expression having equal to sign, and quadratic means having degree 2. So any equation, any mathematical expression, any equation having degree 2 is called as a quadratic equation. Any mathematical equation having degree 2 is called quadratic equation, isn't it? So let me just switch off my video for better streaming, and we'll go ahead. Okay. So whenever I talk about quadratic linear polynomial के एक दो example ले लेते हैं. So example is going to be 5x plus 9 ले सकते हो या फिर 3x minus 7 and so and so. Here you can take degree 2. So here it would be x square plus 3x minus 5, or it may be 5x square, or it may be 3x square minus 5x, whatever. Now when I talk about the term quadratic equation, so the equation involving the one variable, equation involving one variable and having maximum degree and having maximum degree, or we can say maximum index of the variable 2 is called is called a quadratic equation. It's called a quadratic equation. Okay, it's called a quadratic equation. Let me not use short form. So it's called as a quadratic equation. Please students see to it that you all are focusing on concept and not on just not running behind the question solving part. That can be done by anyone. So now let us understand the standard form of quadratic equation. So standard form of quadratic equation, standard form of quadratic equation. Every time I won't be using full form. The standard form of quadratic equation is nothing but ax square plus bx plus c is equal to 0, where a comma b belongs to real number a, b and c. A, b, c belongs to a real number. Okay? This R stands for real number. Please get used to this mathematical language now. Real number. And here a should not be equal to 0. Okay. Now there are few cases involved in it which I would like to discuss. Case 1. Now we know one thing, that one a cannot be equal to 0, right? So can b be equal to 0? Yes. And if b is equal to 0, then what is the equation going to be? So when I say that if b is equal to 0, then the equation becomes ax square प्लस b, तो 0 हो जाएगा, तो 0 into x is 0 plus c is equal to 0. Talking about the next case, that is case 2, that is if c is equal to 0, then equation becomes then equation becomes ax square plus bx is equal to 0. Okay, and there is one more term if c is equal to 0. Okay, if c एक minute ना, case 3 will be if b is equal to 0 and c is equal to 0. What if this happens? Then what will be the equation be? So then equation becomes, now there are both the things are 0. Okay, so equation would be ax square is equal to 0. Now if you look here carefully, if you pay attention, this is going to be a quadratic equation. Since it is having only one variable, that is x, and degree is 2. Similarly, even this is a quadratic equation, isn't it? Similarly, this is a quadratic equation. This is the standard form of quadratic equation. Standard form of quadratic equation. Okay, let me just write it neatly. And talking about all the three cases are over. Good. So now let us think about what are this a, b, and c. So a, b, and c are called quadratic coefficient. So let us keep it a note that here, comma a, b, c are called the quadratic coefficient. Are called the quadratic coefficient. Okay, are called the quadratic coefficient. And quadratic coefficient, comma the linear coefficient. ये a जो है वो quadratic coefficient होता है, फिर जो b है वो linear coefficient होता है, and c जो होता है वो constant term होता है. Quadratic coefficient, linear coefficient. See, knowledge is much more important than just questions on it. Okay, linear coefficient and the constant term. And the constant term. Please excuse me for the shabby handwriting, but see to it that you all are writing along with me so that there is not a problem. Okay, constant term. Okay, never mind. Let's begin with the few more concepts of it, and also let us decide that. Let us study that what we are going to come across in this topic. What are the questions? What are the modules which are going to come across in this topic? Okay, so let me have some green color. If it's good, I don't know. Or let me take some dark blue color. This is good color, dark blue. So let us talk about the topics that we are going to study. Topics which are there in the topic. The topic consists of following subtopics or modules. That is, first is introduction that we have done. Then there are nature of roots of quadratic equations. So nature of roots of quadratic equation. Okay. For that, you need to also understand what are roots of quadratic equation. Then there is methods, various methods we are going to come across, methods of solving quadratic equation. Okay. Thirdly, we are going to study about, just give me a moment, this pen is so heavier. Then thirdly, we are going to study about relation between roots and coefficient. So relation between roots and coefficient. Relations between roots and coefficient. Fourthly, in this topic, we are also going to come across application of various quadratic equations. Application of various quadratic equation. So 3 lectures per module I am planning to take. Okay, so 3 lectures. See, basically this will consist of 2 lectures. I would suggest this will consist of 4 to 5 lectures. This will be more of 2 lectures, it's sort of, and here this would be consist of 3 lectures. So 3 to 5, 4, 9 to 11, and this is the one introduction session. So this is the way entire topic is divided into 12 lectures. The course will be of 12 lecture, and after that you will be able to solve the questions and the other part of this as well. Okay, so at present I have nothing from my side. We'll just refer to textbook. If there is anything, we'll just complete that prerequisite part before going to question solving. So I hope my textbook is visible to you all, and let's check. So there are certain here the activity based questions are there. See, this is a linear polynomial and everything. So now let's see this activity. Observe the given quadratic equation. There's something going wrong. So now just look at this particular question. X square plus 3x, x square plus 3x. There is something going wrong with the textbook. Paranormal activity again. Never mind. So x square plus 3x plus minus 5, 3x square minus 5 and 5 square. Write the polynomial in index form, observe the coefficient and fill the boxes. Okay, so just fill in the boxes. पहले का उन लोग ने करके दिया है. Second, we are supposed to do. Here the coefficient of x is what? Here the coefficient of x is 3. Coefficient of x is 3, isn't it? So just fill it. It's very easy. 1, 3, 5 हो गया. फिर इधर coefficient of x are 3, 5 and 0 respectively. Going ahead, constant terms are what? Tell me. They are minus 5, 0 and 0, isn't it? Let's go ahead. Just give me a moment. It's loading. Let's go down a bit. And here what I'm going to get, constant terms are here. हो गया, ठीक है? So this is, we are done with this part. Anything else? This table. So this table we will do in OneNote. Okay. So complete the following activity. We will just solve it in our OneNote so that we have a record of it. Okay. Let's go to our OneNote. Let's paste the table somewhere over here. Okay. And let's start solving. So x square general form means standard form. It's one and the same standard form. Okay. ABC ka value here. So what is the standard form here? It's going to be y square minus 2y plus 7 is equal to 0. Here it's 1 minus 2 and 7. Similarly, here it's going to be, see, third one is already in standard form. So just write it, x square plus 2x is equal to 0. Here it is going to be 1, 2 and 0. So here we have done with this particular exercise. Let me go ahead and check if there is anything left out. See here, this thing is remaining. Decide which of the following are quadratic equations. So we are solving second, third. So just see here, we need to decide which of the following is a quadratic equation. Okay, so let's solve that part. In equation 9y square plus 5 is equal to 0, y is the only y is the only variable, maximum index variable is 2. Therefore, it is a quadratic equation. Okay, therefore, it is quadratic equation. It is a quadratic equation. Then here, this is just like opening the brackets and see there is L square minus 3L minus, isn't it? अच्छा एक मिनट रुक जाओ, I made an error. ये easy इधर आएगा, so sorry. So it is a quadratic equation. Here m square, here it's cube. So m is the only variable. Maximum index is not 2 and therefore it is not a quadratic equation. Here in this equation, L is the only variable. Maximum index is 2. It is a quadratic equation. Okay. So this is the way of approach towards the question solving. Okay. And I'll just stop for today. We'll resume in the next session. So sorry. So we'll resume in the next session. We will meet in lecture number 2. In lecture number 2, we are, I guess we are having still 15 minutes to end the session. So I can just start with few questions if you all don't mind, because 2.1 is a big exercise. So rather than recording 2 to 3 lectures, I will complete now. So let me take few questions. Question number 1 and 2, if I am not wrong enough. Let's try to solve this question. 2 questions, not more than that. We'll see. Okay, we'll try to cover this 2 questions, and let's paste this over here and let's start solving. Come on. So let's begin. Solution to the first one. Okay, this is the solution to my first question, and what I have been asked, write any 2 quadratic equation. So it can be any. So I'm just writing which I'm having here. So any 2 quadratic equations, any 2 quadratic equations are as follows. So first one you can write here is, इधर से ही देख लो, x square minus 4 is equal to 0. Second one, x square plus 2x is equal to 0. So these are the quadratic equation. So खेलो दिमाग से, no risk at all. Next, let's go for this question. ये हो गया. Let's go for question 2 का first one. What I've been asking in second question, decide which of the following are quadratic equations, isn't it? So when I talk about which of the following are quadratic equations or not, so second question, check whether they are quadratic equation or not. So again, a very simple question. First one, that is x square plus 5x minus 2 is equal to 0. See this, everything I'm not going to solve. There is certain things you should also try. So x square plus 5x minus 2 is equal to 0. Okay. And here the maximum power, yeah, the degree is 2, isn't it? So note this is, and x is the only variable. So how to start this part? So write x is the only variable. X is the only variable, and highest index is 2. Highest index is 2, and therefore it is a quadratic equation. Second question, y square is equal to 5y minus 10. So first of all, I would suggest you bring it in standard form, that is y square minus 5y is equal to 10. ऐसा रखो, या तो standard form फिर पूरा ही ले लो. Here it's going to be y square minus 5y plus 10 is equal to 0. Now this equation is in standard form. I would suggest compare it with ax square plus, मतलब check कर लो. Here also variable. So y is the only variable, isn't it? Y is the only variable, then highest index is 2, therefore it is a quadratic equation. Third one, 1 to third one, y square plus 1 upon y is equal to 2. Third one, y square plus 1 upon y is equal to 2. Y square plus 1 upon y is equal to 2. So here y is the only variable. But I would suggest if the question is in this form, first solve it. So multiply the equation by y. Multiply equation by y throughout. Okay. So here you are going to get uh, multiply by y ना. So see to it तुमको अच्छे से समझेगा तो ये y square into y plus 1 upon y into y which is equal to 2 into y. So your equation will become y cube plus y, isn't it? Y cube plus ये तो कट हो जाएगा, y y गया तो तुमको क्या मिलेगा, y cube plus 1 is equal to 2y. Bring it in standard form, y cube is y cube minus 2y plus 1 is equal to 0. Now if you check here, see here, if you check now, y is the only variable. So that is the condition which is fulfilled. Y is the only variable, but highest index is 3. Therefore, it is not a quadratic equation. Okay. Let's solve for next question. That is question number 4th, 5th, and 6th. Question number 4th. What is the question number 4th here? Question number 4th is x plus 1 upon x is equal to minus 2. Therefore, solution multiply by x throughout, multiplying x on both sides. You all are more comfortable with this language, so I'm no problem. You can use any provided you should know the concept. So here it would be x into x plus 1 upon x into x, which is equal to minus 2 into x. So here it's going to be x square plus 1 is equal to minus 2x. Bring it to the standard form, I would suggest. So here it's going to be therefore x square plus 2x plus 1 is equal to 0. There is only one variable, okay, and degree is also true. Yeah, highest index is also true, therefore it is a quadratic equation. Therefore it is a quadratic equation. And now let's go ahead with question number 5. The topic is going to be very easy, don't worry. Question number 5 is m plus 2 and m minus 5 is equal to 0. Okay, so here it's going to be m into m plus 2. Sorry, if you are opening this bracket, open like this, m into m minus 5 plus 2 and into m minus 5 is equal to 0. This you have studied in your 7th standard how to multiply these terms. Therefore m square minus 5m plus 2m minus 10 is equal to 0. Therefore m square minus 3m, m square minus 3m minus 10 is equal to 0. Therefore only one variable, matlab m is the only variable, take it in that sense, and highest degree is 2. Highest degree is 2, and therefore uh, it's going to be quadratic equation. Therefore it is a quadratic equation. Therefore it is a quadratic equation. Okay, never mind. We'll go ahead. Quickly, I'll jump to the last question for today. That is question number 6. That is m cube minus अच्छा see कैसे है पता है क्या majority of the times you can just look and identify but you should have practice at present it's the very first lecture so let's not be खतरों के खिलाड़ी and we will solve ईमानदारी से so m cube plus 3m square minus 2 is equal to 3m cube okay so therefore m cube minus 3m cube plus 3m square minus 2 is equal to 0. Therefore, minus 2m cube plus 3m square minus 2 is equal to 0. So here only one variable that condition is satisfied but the highest index is 3 but highest degree is 3. Yeah, highest index is 3. Therefore, it is not a quadratic equation. So now you may come to know that please don't go on my handwriting. See to it that what I am explaining that is understood. Let us go a bit down and let us conclude by today's lecture by saying that for an equation to be quadratic, this color is so dangerous. For any equation to be quadratic equation, there are only two conditions to be satisfied that a should not be equal to 0. Secondly, only one variable होना मांगता है and highest index should be 2. So these are the three main conditions which you should check for an equation to be a quadratic one. Okay, so only that much from my side. Hope the today's session was very clear and interesting for you all. Next time we will meet with quadratic equation lecture number 2 and we are going to continue with the practice set ka remaining part, that is 3, 4th, 5th, 6th. Okay, 6th is an exercise question which I can activity based I can do now, but it will exceed the time limit. Okay, so that's all from my side. We'll end the session for today and thanks all for attending. Bye.